Section 2 of Chapter 8, Partnership and Franchises. Yesterday, we looked at a sole proprietorship in Section 1, and we looked at the risks and benefits that are involved with that. Today, we're going to the next level, and we're talking about partnership and franchise organizations. So, what does success look like today? What should you be able to walk away and be able to do? Know why you would choose a business partner. So if you ever decide to go into business one day, know why you would want to choose one. And secondly, have an awareness of the benefits of owning a franchise. So when you walk into a franchise store, you'd be able to know the reasons why someone would choose a franchise and the benefits that are included in that. So we're going to first start with what is a partnership. So a partnership is not just it can be two people or more. It doesn't have to be just two people. If you notice a lot of your home products, you will see a P&G on the back of a lot of those products. That is representing a partnership that took place years and years and years and years ago. Anyone have an idea what that is? It is Procter & Gamble. So if you got it, good for you. If you didn't, well, now you know something new today. So a partnership, this is what it is. There are different types of partnerships: general, limited, and limited liability. The first partnership is partners are equal. In our restaurant project, you have a general partnership. Everyone is equal. Now that may be debatable when we have to divide out percentages of, obviously if you have three partners, you can't divide it 100% evenly. You're all 33.333% partners, but you guys can work that out later on who's going to get that extra decimal of a percent of ownership. So, general partnership, everyone is equal for responsibilities and liabilities. The second partnership, this is usually for those who are just contributing money. So someone that doesn't really want to be in the day-to-day operations, or maybe it's a restaurant, they don't have to be the restaurant all the time, they just want to provide the financial aid in order for a partnership to begin. That is definitely an option that is out there as well when it comes to this. So the risk for them is just losing money. Benefit to them is that if it makes money, they don't have to be there day to day to help with all operations. And then the third one, and probably the smartest one when forming a partnership, is a limited liability partnership. And what this basically means is that everyone's responsibilities are spelled out for them, meaning that if there is a marketing department and there's a financial department, everyone is responsible for their department, and especially in the case if there's a crime that is committed. So let's say that an advertising department in a corporate or in a company, a partner decides to put something out there that is very false and ends up in a lawsuit, the financial department would not be liable for that lawsuit because they had an LLP demonstrating their responsibilities when it comes to that. Or if it's the finance department, they're not being honest with the numbers in their books, and if the IRS audits them, the marketing department won't get in trouble because it is an LLP. They only have their part. So there's three parts there. Now, there is no law requiring a partnership between partners, business partners. You can just have a simple handshake in order to do this. Now, it's not smart to do all the time, just because arguments do happen. People misunderstand things, or maybe one partner is not as hard of a worker as the other one, and now we have an argument over who gets what profit or responsibility. So it's always best to have an articles of partnership, a written legal document that spells out everyone's responsibilities. This is easy to do. You just have a lawyer make sure that it's all legitimate. You sign the partnership, and then it's legally bound. Now, if the court passed the Uniform Partnership Act, I guess Congress passed that, and as a result, this is if there is no written agreement. How do the court systems know how to navigate if there is no paperwork when it comes to that? So that is the UPA. Pausing for a reason. Okay, let's move on. Advantages of partnership. Well, the advantage is quite a few things. First thing, it will double the assets that you have. So it could be money, it could be transportation, it could be location of the office, all the different assets that are involved with that. When I started my business, in a sense, I have a partnership with some family members. I provided the monetary to buy the trailer, and some of the family members provided the vehicle in order to tow the trailer. So we doubled the assets. I didn't have to go out and buy another vehicle in order to do this, so that was nice. Also, with that, there's more money involved for this as well. And then there's expertise as well. If you're really good at being social with people, but you're just not good at the day-to-day operations or writing down the business plan, you want to choose a partner that complements who you are. You probably don't want to go into someone that's identical to you, just because if you probably have the same interest and you both want to do the same things. And then as a result, there are certain parts of the job that you just don't want to do, well, your partner probably won't want to do them either. So you want to find someone that complements your strengths. And then shared decision making. That's always a huge plus instead of having it to do it alone. A couple years back, we were doing an event for 4th of July, and I had this genius idea that let's put food dye into our puffertjes, and so we'll go red, white, and blue, so they'll match the theme. And I thought it was a fantastic idea. I expressed my idea to my wife and other family members, and they said that's stupid. Um, the color dye is going to overtake the product, and it's going to come across as being too soggy and nasty in taste, and we don't want to risk that. Well, I took their advice, and smartly so, and we have never dyed our food products different colors when it came to this, and it was the right decision. I probably would have went ahead and did it if I didn't have a partnership with others, but they provided some guidance for that, and you can play off each other there. Now, sometimes in the partnership, there's going to be conflict. Well, not sometimes, probably all the time, depending on where you are in the business. Let's talk about the unlimited liability that is there. We just talked about the LLP. If you don't have an LLP, you are responsible for every action that your business partner does. So that is a disadvantage that could take place. You are bound by the actions of the other partners. You can't just do whatever you want. You have to work with someone else. If it's a legal document and you started the business together, you are liable and you are bound by their actions. Potential for conflict, that will happen. Definitely will happen. If you go into business with family, it is more than likely to happen when it comes to conflict. There have been several times where family members, myself, get in arguments about something. Some of those reality TV shows where you have family businesses that are screaming and yelling at each other. We're probably not that bad, not in front of the customers at least. But conflict does take place when it comes to this, definitely for sure. When we did last semester, when we did the restaurant project, there was a team that I thought would agree and just do amazing, and they did very, very well. Their final product was awesome, but conflict was a constant with that group, but they persevered. They're still friends today, but conflict's going to happen, and you may see that with your restaurant project that we're doing. Lack of permanence, stability. It may not last forever. If a business partner passes away and you don't have the financial assets to keep going, probably more than likely the business will fade as well. Okay, so that's partnerships. What about franchises? Well, read the definition of what a franchise would be. So, a franchisor is a parent company and a franchisee is a store owner. So, when Colonel Sanders, who started KFC, he was a sole proprietor to start with. He had the idea of fried chicken and it went well. It was done so well that he had people asking him about franchise opportunities. So he got to the point where he began to franchise out his company. So he was the franchisor, he was the parent company that allowed other companies to partially buy his business to be a franchisee owner, store owner. So all these here are all franchisees. McDonald's is one, Dairy Queen is one, Jersey Mike's recently came into Woodbury. That is a franchise. And if you feel like you don't want to go full in to a full business, start everything on your own, you can buy into something that already has name recognition and has a lot of benefits. In the U.S. today, there's 909,000 franchises in the U.S. So we're going to talk about some advantages. Advantages. Usually, if you want to start a franchise, they will provide training for you, for management training and support. Standardized quality is there. It doesn't matter if you go to McDonald's here in Woodbury or in Minneapolis. The standardized quality is the same. We will always expect to have the same taste when it comes to that. National advertising programs. This is huge. If you watch some of the commercials from the Super Bowl, there was franchise commercials on there. So if they had one, one doesn't come to mind right now. I just have that stupid Mountain Dew commercial in my mind right now. But national advertising, if there's an advertisement out there, it's going to benefit every franchisee owner. Financial assistance, if you can't afford to go fully in to buy into a franchise, they sometimes have a financial assistance program. Chick-fil-A is known for this. I think you only need $5,000 to $10,000 in order to open up a Chick-fil-A. Now, I think they have a 7-step process, and we had a teacher at the school here actually looked into it before when it came into it, and he told me I think it was $5,000 is all you needed to start. So that would be financial assistance. Centralized buying power. This means that you can buy products through the franchise company and get things a lot cheaper. So for McDonald's buns, they can buy buns cheaper through the franchisor than they could by just going to Cub Foods or Sam's Clubs. It's cheaper that way. So definitely some advantages. Disadvantages that we find with a franchise. Well, they're not just going to give you, if you decide to become a franchisee owner, they're not just going to give you free reign, meaning that you got to pay a royalty fee it's usually each month back to the company, back to the franchisor company. And it is known as a royalty fee. And it could be a percent, it could be a flat rate, it just kind of depends. In this graph here, you can kind of see Big Town Hero, these are all sandwich companies, and this is kind of what they charge. So franchise fee, this is just to walk into the door, they expect you to have this much. Royalty fee, this is how much money they should be receiving from your business each month. Advancement fee and development costs. So if you see here, some of them are extremely cheap to start, some are more expensive. Subway used to be at least the #1 franchise business that was growing across the world. So they say 8% of your gross sales, and this is how much it usually costs, to open up a business for this, and franchise fee of $15,000. Strict operating standards. You cannot just do your own thing. You have to follow the guidelines, the business plan that the franchisor company has in mind. Purchasing restrictions. You can't just go buy products from the store. You have to buy it through the franchisor company. One time, my family was at McDonald's in Rosemont, and it was a busy weekend night, and they were running out completely of buns for the hamburgers. So the manager was frantic, and he got a bunch of cash from the cash register, gave it to one of his employees, and told him to run over to Cub real quick, buy a bunch of buns, and then come back. That is, I don't know if it's legal or not, but I know the franchisor McDonald's company would not agree with that. That is risking the standard of quality when it comes to that. And then you have a limited product line. Some franchise companies are more lenient than others, but most you can't just come up with your own product. So let's say that a franchisor for Taco Bell says, hey, I want to start offering hamburgers. He can't just start doing that. There is a strict product line that they must follow. Okay? So that was section 2. that we looked over today. Success again looked like why would you choose a business partner or who would you choose? And then the awareness of the benefits of owning a franchise. If you feel confident in those two areas, you were successful and in learning this section.